Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but please feel free to call me SRP if you'd like. Um, Today I wanted to try a Vader deck. One of my friends has been telling me about it, and it looked pretty fun, so I figured I'd give it a shot, and kind of went with my own take on this. But it's been a cool deck so far. I like the interactions on this, and I think that you're going to probably like it too. It's a really nice lower to the ground aggressive deck, but it's got a little bit of mid range to it as well too. So let's go over everything. We'll start at the beginning like we always do with look at our leader, and then we'll go over our card choices from there. I did build kind of a cursory sideboard for it, but take it with a grain of salt. Before we begin, just want to do the quick like and subscribe thing. No pressure if you don't want to, it's okay. It does help me out quite a bit, so if you enjoy the content or like the list or whatever the case may be, definitely helps out here. So let's go over Vader. So much like the first Vader from set 1, this is going to be a 7 to deploy leader. This one, however, has an action where we can exhaust him and discard a card from our hand. And if we do, we get to deal 1 damage to a unit or a base. And on the front side, give me just a second, I just had this up. Here it is. On the front side, it is a 7 cost, 6/8 with the ability on attack, discard any number of cards from your hand, deal damage to a unit or base equal to the number of cards discarded this way. So a pretty cool little leader. Definitely like it quite a bit. And the on attack ability does come up occasionally. The main thing is with this, there's not really a big way to replenish the cards in your hand. There are a couple of cards that do it, but it also mostly benefits your opponent. But anyway, we'll go over all the choices here and explain what's what. Starting off with 2 copies of Owen Lars. This is just a pretty good fit, and pretty much any force deck that's running Vigilance. So 1 costs 0/3 with Restore 2, and when it's defeated, we get to search the top 5 cards of our deck for a force card, reveal it, and then draw it, put the rest on the bottom in a random order. It's a great card. Heals us up a little bit, and it lets us find something else. This is a pretty force-heavy deck, and we're also, I don't think I mentioned it, but we're also pairing this with the Vigilance Force base. I don't think I mentioned this, I just wanted to bring that out real quick. It's a great card. We're running a lot of force units, so it's kind of a no-brainer. I did have a couple more copies of That's a Rock. I really can't get into this card, though. I get the whole gimmick of discarding a card from your deck. And playing this, you still get the 2 damage and you can split it up. I don't know. It's probably because I haven't played with it a lot. I'm sure it's a fine card. But for now, I'm just playing with 1 copy. I definitely do see the ability, how this can be good. Just not crazy about it yet. For those that don't know, this comes from the Solo movie as well, too, I guess. Where he tried to pass off a rock as a thermal detonator in the beginning to Lady Proxima. Spoilers, I guess. Sorry. I don't know if many people watched it, but anyway. On to our next card, which is Chio Fain, and this is kind of one of the cards that I was alluding to before about drawing our opponent a card. It's 2 cost and Vigilance Aggression. 2/4 Underworld Bounty Hunter that has the ability on attack. You may choose 2 players. If you do, they each draw a card. So it says may, so you don't have to do this. It kind of defeats the purpose of playing the card. But yeah, it's pretty good. I like it so far. It's been fine. I really don't like giving my opponent a card, but there are a couple other strategies with this. We want to have more cards in hand for our Vader flip when he attacks anyway, so that's kind of the primary reason why I'm doing that. 3 copies of Director Krennic. We don't have a ton of when defeated abilities on units in here, but still a 2 cost for a 2/2 shielded is pretty good. And there are a couple units in here that do have the when defeated, which are pretty great with Krennic, such as the Owen that we just discussed. He's got a when defeated, so we can play Krennic and Owen on turn 1. So definitely a very good unit. I mean, worst case, it's Crafty Smuggler, 2 cost, 2/2 with a shield. Also running 2 copies of Karis. It's a Force unit, 2/4, and has when defeated, you can use the Force. If you do, you get to give a unit -2/-2 for this phase. Just a good way to take out a unit that's kind of straggling. Or you can run this into something with 4 health and take it out with the ability. Since we want to draw cards, we're also running 3 copies of Nightsister Warrior. This 2 has a when defeated of draw a card, so it works with a Krennic. It's going to be reduced in cost by 1. That's Krennic's ability. Again, I don't know if I said that or not, but all when defeated units cost 1 less to play with him. But it's nothing special, but it does replace itself when it dies. Speaking of Crafty Smuggler from before with the Krennic, we've got another copy of something similar with Secretive Siege. 2 cost, 2/2 Fringe, Force, Shielded. This is a Force unit that gets us the Force token with our base, so it's got a shield, so it's going to stick around, and most likely we're going to be able to get an attack out of it. Running 2 copies of Grand Inquisitor. It's a fine card. I don't think it's anything super special, but it's definitely a good card. And again, Force Tag helps out. 3 cost, 3/4, hidden, Raid 1, and flavor text. I don't even think I'll bother reading it because there's no other Inquisitors in this list. But if you did have other friendly Inquisitors, they would get hidden. We're also running 2 copies of Marin, which I think is a good card, and I'm really strongly considering bumping this up to 3 in here, just because it plays well with Vader's ability. You'd be surprised at how often you do discard a card from your hand to get that 1 ping in there. It definitely does come up, and I have taken stuff down with Marin and the Vader ping. And primarily, there's a couple cards in particular that we want to discard, both of them being the Heroism cards, because we want to be able to enable one of our other cards later, which I'm sure you can guess what it is, but we'll get to it in a second. 2 copies of Aggressive Negotiations. There are some really cool rare cases that I've run into. This deck runs out of cards a lot, so I'm still not sure if I want to run this or not, but there are some examples where if you flip your Vader, you Aggressive Negotiations. Let's say you've got 4 cards in hand after you play this. So your Vader gets +4/+0 and attacks. Now you can discard those 4 cards, and he gets an additional +4/+4. So it's kind of cool with that, and you can definitely get in big hits with it for sure. And I like the card, but I'm just not sure how well we can draw consistently. I don't think there's quite enough sources of draw yet. The full set's not released. I think as of today it's the 9th. Yeah, oh no, sorry, February 6th is when I'm recording this. So we've definitely got some cards to go here. So we'll see how it goes, I suppose, there. I do like Knowledge and Defense. It's been very good so far. 3 cost. Give you unit -2/-2 for this phase, and then we get to draw a card. So it kind of ties in there. Again, we want to have as many cards in our hand when we attack with our Vader, so we have the option where we can discard and deal damage. Essentially turn those cards into damage. No Disintegrations has been way better than I thought it was going to be. I kind of, in my own head, think of this as the 2-action removal, where we have to play this, and then we have to attack with a unit, or play something like That's a Rock. Most likely it's going to be attacking with a unit, though, and then we get to take pretty much anything out. So it's a good card. It's just, I call it like leaky action. It's kind of a weird term, but yes, you get to kill something, but it just costs you extra actions to do it. I guess it's worth it right now, just because we don't have a lot of other good removal currently, so it seems like it's a good add in there. I'm just not super sold on it right now, I guess. Chariot, I'm running with 2 copies in here, but this very easily could be 3. In making this deck, it's so hard to find room, just because it seems like it's pretty tight. It kind of seems like it builds itself for the most part, and I really like this deck quite a bit. But trying to find room, and then you've got like a couple of spots where you can try cards like using Mandalorian as a finisher in here. So you've got kind of a little bit of room to maneuver, but I think a lot of the cards kind of seem fixed already, unless we see something come up in the near future, which I'm sure we probably will. It just seems like a lot of the choices seem really obvious, and that's okay. That's completely fine. Like I said, I'm really enjoying the deck so far. Chariot is just so tough to deal with. It was good before rotation. It's just going to get better now with less cards available. 4 cost 3/5 with Sentinel, and when this unit's attacked, you can use your Force token. If you do, the unit gets -2, -0. Then you can just attack with another Force unit because we've got so many of them. Just get the Force back, and it's just very difficult to deal with this unit. Then, kind of on the flip side, we've got the antithesis to Chariot with Darth Tyrannus, 2 copies, 4 cost 4/3, shielded, ambush. When the Force is with you, it gains ambush. So one thing to remember, you don't have to use the Force to get the ambush, you just have to have the Force token. It's a great card. You can kill anything that's got anything with 2 power or 3 health. You can go in and do your ambush and then put the shield on there if you want to, which is a nice option to have. Again, since we're playing Vader, we've got a couple of heroism cards splashed, primarily for this Anakin. I was kind of alluding to that before, but if I'm going to pay 6 for something, I don't think Ki-Adi-Mundi is the worst possible thing. So it's doing something that we really want to do anyway. At 6 cost for a 4/4 that draws 2 cards, it's kind of a stretch, but we can discard cards with Vader as well. So worst case scenario, we can ditch it and get a damage out of him. But I have run into games where I've played this and it's been fine. I've also discarded this with Vader and it was fine. Actually finished off a unit, so I'm okay with this. I've seen a couple other lists, and I've got one card that I haven't seen in other lists before, and it really paid off for me so far. I'll kind of get into that in just a moment. It's just pretty close. After the Ki-Adi, I'm running 3 copies of the Talzin's Assassin. Just a 4 cost 4/4. It's got the Force tag, of course, and when played, you can use the Force. If you do, give a unit -3/-3 for this phase. Just handy way to finish stuff off, or to, if your opponent has an advantage in combat before they attack, you can kind of drop this and make the unit much smaller. So it's a good card. Definitely fits very well in here. One card I haven't seen in a ton of builds so far is this Bylert Valance. I have no idea where this card is from, or this character is from, but I think it's kind of interesting in this deck. It's a 5 cost in Vigilance Aggression 3/6. On attack, draw a card. Then you may deal damage to a ground unit equal to the number of cards you've drawn this phase. Kind of something different. It's Underworld Bounty Hunter, and it's got 6 toughness. I think it should be able to stick around just fine. If anybody knows where this is from, kind of curious. Certainly would like to know more. It says Target Vader as first tagline, so kind of interesting. Anyway, the new card that I've added in here, and it's actually done pretty well for me, is Rey. So we're drawing a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but we are definitely drawing cards in this deck. And this is one of the cards where you don't mind ditching to Vader, because you're probably not going to be happy about paying a 7 cost 5/5 that doesn't do anything. So really, primarily what we're doing with this is we're playing the Rey just so we can get the ability of this. This is a 5 cost 5/5. Again, in our deck it's going to cost 7 if we play it since we're in Villainy, but the ability, for those that don't know, is when you draw this card, during the action phase, if you control an aggression leader or a base, which we control a leader, You may reveal this card from your hand. If you do, deal 2 damage to a unit and 2 damage to a base. So there was a really wild play that I did on turn 2. And turn 1 I played Krennic and I played Owen. Turn 2 they played something, I forget what it was, but I think it was just a secretive sage. It was a 2/2 with a shield. So I had knowledge and defense. They played a second unit that had 2 toughness. I did knowledge and defense, killed their secretive sage, got lucky and drew the ray off of it, dealt another 2 to their other unit and 2 to their base, and they just auto-scooped. It was kind of lucky, but it was super cool. I wish you guys could have seen it, but definitely very cool. And that's the primary reason I have her in here. It's kind of cool when you can get the 2 damage to the base and to the unit, but you can always discard this so that we've got a heroism card in our discard pile to trigger the Anakin. So that's my explanation on that anyway. And it has worked. We've got this guy to draw cards. We've got Kiadi to draw cards. And Knowledge and Defense does. Nightsister Warrior does. This Chio Fain does. And technically this Owen Lars does as well too, because the wording on this says look at the top 5 and draw it. So you get to draw one of those 5. So I think that there's enough card draw in here where we can warrant having the Ray. It's been good, like I said, so far. I haven't had a ton of games with it, but I really like it. It's neat. I would like it if we had more card draw, but it's still good. And we're getting into finisher territory here. I forgot to mention too, this guy. There have been some times where I was able to get in a couple of draws, and his ability, his on-attack ability, does become relevant at some point. So I definitely like the card, and I do think that it has a home in this deck for sure. 3 copies of Anakin because, we're going to have villainy and heroism cards in our discard pile most likely. 6 cost, 5/7. If you've got a heroism card in your discard pile, you get to give a unit -3/-3. And if you've got a villainy card in your discard pile, you can give a unit -3/-3. Just one of the best cards in the game. It's fantastic. So we're running the Vigilance, so might as well try it. Or run it in there. And then the last card that I'm trying as a finisher is the Mandalorian. 6 cost and Vigilance and Aggression, 6/5. When played, draw a card, and when you draw 1 or more cards during the action phase, you get to give a shield token to this unit. It's vulnerable to bounce, of course. Something like No Glory Only Results will also take care of this. However, there's not a ton of events that really take care of this. And with the amount of card draw that we've got in here, we should hopefully be able to give him multiple shields and kind of go from there. One card I didn't really consider is running the 000 in here, in case we start to get low on cards. 000 can get the aggression cards back in from the sideboard. 3 cost 4/4, and villainy and aggression. So something to consider just because we discard quite a bit. And it'll give us a way to kind of replenish things. So right now the current sideboard is 2 copies of Outer Rim Constable for upgrade heat. Got 2 copies of Condemn. It's not really removal, but it's kind of the closest thing that we've got. I'm not super thrilled with Shatterpoint, honestly. I'd rather use the Force token for something else, like a Charitability. But since we don't have a ton of good removal, why not? And I'm also running 3 copies of No Glory, just because if we run into something that's very troublesome, like a Chewbacca unit in space, for example, we can just take it and then defeat it. So that has been a very good choice so far from my games. But that's my take on the Vader. Last minute I threw the Ray in, and I was pretty happy with it. So I'm glad that I did. And if you guys give this a try, I hope that you'll like it. Feel free to leave your comments. Let me know what you would change or cards that you like or didn't like in here. Definitely appreciate the feedback. And definitely appreciate you stopping by. So thanks again for doing so and for the kind support. It means a lot to me, so thanks again. May the force be with you, my friends. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.